evening, everyone, and welcome to Law Dog Sports, the weekend big show. I am Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you, and joined as I always am by my partner, ruler of the airways, Jeremy Schroeder, coming off of some hectic and some anticlimactic and some classic football going on here the last couple days. Be sure and follow us on our website, lawdogsports.com. It's got links to all of our podcast pages as well as our YouTube page. We're on Facebook Live tonight and kind of threw a curveball. Jeremy, I just kind of looked at it and said, you know, we've got 1,300 fans on Facebook. If I can somehow make it work and not freeze up, it might be more worth it to run it here and then upload it to the YouTubes and see if we can't try to garner more traction here in 2025 that way.
As long as we don't have the freezing issues, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah,
we'll see how one more week of possible freezing issues, right?
Exactly. You know, it's Happy New Year, by the way, and hope your holidays have been great. We were on the air last Friday, and that was fun. But, you know, it's interesting. I really thought about jumping out and at least going to the driving range today. Beautiful day out here in Western Oklahoma. And then Sunday was just absolutely gorgeous. I skipped Sunday with my group and said, I'll meet you guys on Monday. They went ahead and went. It was 45-mile-an-hour gusts in Western Oklahoma on Monday, so I skipped, but they went out and toughed it out. So it
sounds like you were the winner in that situation.
My psyche about my game is just not up to snuff to withstand that kind of wind at Roman nose. So
you got to learn to hit those balls that only get about 8 feet off the ground.
I've been for 6 months. I've been wanting to become one of those line drive guys. You know, just keep it low and straight.
Just play it off your every shot off your left heel.
I guess so. I'm dang near behind the ball, and I'm just still whacking that thing way up high in the air, and the wind can catch it. And I have had a few shots where I utilized the wind and got good distance and stayed out of the woods. So that was.
It always seems like in Oklahoma that there may be 3 holes on the entire dadgum course that are with the wind, but everything else is with the wind or it's going across, and this is not fair.
If the wind's out of the south, which it normally is, you know, during golf season, there's it's 18, 17, 16. I think it's the 15th hole at Romanos is just straight south shot. If the wind's in your face, you're not getting very far, you know, at least not the way I hit it. So anyways, but it is 2025 in the year of our Lord. And as we speak, the Ole Miss Rebels are defeating the Duke Blue Devils 14-0. And Duke without Malik Murphy, who entered the transfer portal.
Chuck, it's now 17-0.
Okay, sorry, missed that last field goal Lane got. But you know, Riley Leonard leading the Fighting Irish instead of the Blue Devils to playoff victory, and this playoff 3 days has been, you know, much less people that, you know, I mean, it's so hard, and we'll talk about the Notre Dame Georgia game. It's so hard to you know, to try to get to normal after a terror event. You and I both work in public safety and Homeland. You work in Homeland Security, but it's one of those situations, Jeremy, where after that kind of thing has gone off, you know, and occurred, you know, the crowd, the teams, everybody's got to be a little shook. So it had to be kind of an eerie feeling down there at the Sugar Bowl today.
Definitely. And, you know, it was loud on both sides, but then I was seeing tweets or zweets, or I don't know what we're calling it anymore.
Yeah, tweets.
Posts on X that there were a lot of Notre Dame and Georgia fans that were, you know, shipping out this morning.
Yeah, because
it seemed like the atmosphere was pretty good there.
It seemed to me like Notre Dame had a really faithful setting there. I mean,
yeah, you wouldn't think there'd be that many Catholics in the continental United States, home of voodoo, but here we are.
Trying to set up to see the comments here on our Facebook Live. I think I might have. Okay, I've got it set up. All right, okay, so we should be good. I'll try to monitor.
Dan has already checked in with a link. Thought it would be
Nope.
interesting what a 4-team playoff would have been. A rehash of Big Ten SEC conference championships. If I have that correct, let me open that up.
Why am I not seeing that?
I don't know. You would have had Oregon v. Penn State, Georgia v. Texas.
There's Dan. Tell me again what that said. I apologize.
I'm sorry. What it says is Oregon versus Penn State,
Mm-hmm.
and then Georgia versus Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what we have now is Penn State against Notre Dame and Texas the Ohio State.
You a big Buckeyes fan right now?
I am right now, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a tough week. I've had to be a big Dabo fan, all about the Cam Scatterboo.
Oh man, and
no matter what Jesse Palmer tells you, it's Cam Scatterboo. It ain't Scatterbo.
No, Duke gets on the board with a 14-yard touchdown pass.
That's another thing we haven't talked about. Malik Murphy is on his way to Oregon State.
Yeah,
so they're breaking in a new QB tonight.
Yeah, and he just exploited the.
He finds rhythm.
Of course, Manny Diaz. I mean, I'll give that guy credit. Is he the one that was defensive coordinator under Mac?
He was one of them. Yeah. He's a cucaracha. He's just he'd survive a nuclear war.
Well, he's
landing on his feet.
Who was was it him or Harsin that was the ESPN film guy and then got a coordinator gig not long after?
I want to say it was Harsin.
Okay.
No, Harsin's on Fox. Maybe it was Manny Diaz. But I think Diaz was also a film guy with the Eagles and ended up as their DC, if I'm not mistaken.
One of them was like a film guy at
that was Diaz.
Okay.
And he parlayed that into the head coaching job at Miami. And then they hired somebody while he was still the head coach.
Yeah. It was Cristobal, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm not seeing comments on the live chat. I don't know what that's about. So
let's see. We got howdy everyone from Dan, and that's from the group chat.
Oh,
so obviously. Okay, so those are the only two comments I'm seeing so far.
Okay. Yeah, Dan, we're live, bud. The group chat's down for now. I love Dan Narva. And Dan's had a rough week too, having to root for Michigan against Bama, and then having to root for Ohio State against Texas. I assume he rooted against Texas.
Then again, I have to take exception with Dan. You don't ever root for your rival.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Texas could be playing the University of Satan. I like Satan.
I'll take Satan this week. Dan, I love you very much, buddy. No, you're exactly right, and that's the whole thing with this SEC stuff. And I know Connor Carr's been giving us grief about it, but dude, I just cannot. I can't.
They willingly allowed Texas A&M into the conference. I can't take it seriously.
No, and looking at this conference, I don't know that I'm going to be able to root for Florida if they turn things around. Tennessee's okay with me. They were okay with me before Heupel. Now,
I kind of like the way Philip Fulmer, did his thing over there.
Oh yeah.
Not so much after that because
UGA, they've been so good for so long now, and
you want to talk about just a fall off, looking like a team that would just bully, NFL teams up front, both sides of the ball. And now look at them.
They were kind of looking like that on the defensive side against Notre Dame for the first quarter and a half.
Yeah, but down the line depth.
But their offensive line couldn't do anything, and
down the roster depth.
All I kept hearing was about how Notre Dame was so undersized compared to those Georgia trenches.
Just irritating, man. That ain't I wasn't expecting that from a Kirby Smart team, but they got whipped.
Yeah. They
up front, both sides, all game.
Of course, now T-Sips are taking the victory lap, saying that they're every team's Super Bowl.
Oh God. and we'll be back in the Big 12 because Texas is going to implode the entire SEC because
Now that could happen.
They are toxic.
That really could happen, and that's where that Grim Reaper knocking on doors.
You can't even give them their flowers without them just, oh, whoa, we're
Yeah.
Texas. Shut
Yeah.
up. Just shut up.
Yeah, we're bigger than a
Enjoy your time.
Yeah.
It never
Let's
lasts
see.
long.
Yep. So Dan's checked in. Texas and Arizona State last night. It was a classic game. I mean, I would go with that being, anytime there's a 16-point comeback in the fourth quarter, 7 minutes remaining.
Going into that game, yeah, I wanted Arizona State. It's Texas, University of Satan, Texas. I'm taking Satan, but man,
we don't really endorse Satan, folks. Just
Kenny. No, we do not. No. We're on the side of God.
We eat the Lord's chicken, and we say amen.
Kenny Dillingham, he won me over.
Yeah.
Scatterboo. This is going to sound like hyperbole, and I have had a couple cold beers tonight, so take this with a grain of salt.
Sure.
Have you seen a college football player have a game like that?
Before he kind of started getting his numbers and impacting the games, I saw a tweet that said he's poor man's Toby Gerhart, and it's like, nah, not tonight.
Nah, he had 130 yards.
Yeah.
He had 95 receiving.
Yeah, and then that
put the deke on the poor D-back, let him run into him, got the PI, and then the face mask.
Sure.
And then those touchdown pass.
That's a guy that's going out and imposing his will, and just it's a shame because I'm not even going to address what's been addressed 800 times on my timeline since last night. But I'll say this, Dillingham, his defensive, I saw just about 3 or 4 days ago that Hines Ward was their wide receiver coach.
Yeah, he is.
And that was a team without their best wide receiver.
Yep.
And without their best defensive player for half of the game. I'll say this. Here's the thing with the quick turnaround teams. Indiana, SMU, Arizona State. Man, the moment can be really big for you.
Sure.
And you go in and everything's just kind of like, holy cow,
Yep.
But there was a team last night that said, okay, the first 2 quick scores by Texas and then really nothing else until Ewers. Ewers ran in that quarterback run in the second half where there was a blatant hold. But the thing about it is being off a week, not playing that game, that's where you would look at one of these teams like Arizona State and say, a tune-up game against Clemson might have been what they needed and
sure.
take over a Texas team that's a little rusty.
Out of all the teams that had the week off, ASU played the best.
Yes, by far. You
could tell. Because after Texas, landed those body shots, ASU kind of, they just could not get it. They get inside the 20s, they couldn't get it going.
Mm-hmm. Well,
their kicker's awful.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
Well, I mean, he was, 2 of 3? And one was blocked by a 6'7" kid. So, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll cut him some slack. It's Bert Auburn that's awful. Man, the condition of that field. Where are they at in Jacksonville? The Gator Bowl. That middle of that field is just worn out.
Oh, you're talking about the Texas? Yeah,
I'm sorry, the Gator Bowl.
I'm sorry, my
I'll never call it by its corporate name. But no, going into tonight, like we said, the teams that had first round buys just have come out and been extremely rusty. Yes. Arizona State's the only one that put it together. They signed up for 60 and were able to really make it a game. And then I'll say this. Texas is going to win the Natty. I mean, it's just.
I know it, but I'm not going to accept it.
I don't want to accept it, but I know it. I just
damn
know
you.
It.
You have been. This is like, what year did we start this?
2018.
2018. Every year you have postulated.
Here's my
Texas
theory.
Is back.
Here's my theory on this. I mean, they're just that I call it dipshit football. they're talented enough that they can go out and throw a clunker for 3/4 and still be in the game, still take. Now, and here's I'm trying to I'm trying to use a conjunction on so many thought lines here. That's who they are. They are the T-Sips. They take it seriously when it's time, when it's just at the last minute. Oh yeah, we'll go out and play. That route to Gunner Helm that they ran in overtime, you telling me that wasn't there all game? And you could have avoided overtime with that?
Well, since I watched it and I've watched it several times today, they weren't getting pressure on Ewers all day, but they were having success in coverage. So on 4th and 13, they ran a zero blitz. Nobody's back deep.
That was a bad decision.
That was borderline coaching malpractice.
It was really bad because
they need 13 yards.
Let them get the first down if they can.
That's fine.
Don't
a field goal ain't beating you.
Don't get behind you like that. No way, no how. Not in that situation. You just can't do that.
Yeah, it was bad.
Especially after they had played so well.
I will tell you one thing. The Ohio State Buckeyes were extremely impressive last night.
They were.
They went out and I know a lot of people around here the last couple of days, because you remember that SI post that got shot out there that was quickly retracted. Dan Lanning named head coach at the University of Oklahoma. And people here, there was wringing of hands and gnashing of teeth when that thing went out there. And then up until last week, well, maybe we should have hired Lanning.
Yeah.
Well, last night, that team was unprepared.
They were flat.
They were soft.
Yeah.
They were flat. And they got their asses kicked by they weren't doing anything special. They were just getting their asses kicked up front on both sides of the football.
Yeah. It was a whole theory to me of we've got the better Joes. Forget the X's and O's. We're just going to
Jimmy's and Joe's, baby.
We're going to run routes. And we're going to be open. We're going to score.
So I asked him, what the hell happened against Michigan? Rivalry games are weird.
We always talk about college age kids looking ahead, college age kids. How do you keep them motivated? I mean, obviously, probably the greatest at it, and even he had his struggles, was Nick Saban.
Sure.
He if it was a championship game, now, kind of slipped in the later years, but he could get them ready to play. Stoops wasn't a good motivator for teams that were going into final championship games at all.
Absolutely not.
No. And so it's tough. I wouldn't indict Dan Lanning's coaching career based on that game. It sucks. You get back in that situation again, you've got to figure something else out, but you also may not get into that situation again until you've got other players. I mean,
speak of the devil, I got a Saban commercial on right now.
Oh, that's the greatest.
Yeah, but Saban, he might
no fun.
Be president of Mensa right now. He got out because he didn't want to deal with all this nonsense we're dealing with now.
Oh, yeah. And Shane Gillis dinged him on paying players, and he got miffed.
That was so funny. Alabama Jones.
It was so true. And, then gigged him on his hat.
Put the charger keys on the desk and get to the steps.
Yeah. But, here's the thing. He did that. We know that they had to do that to get him on campus. But then once you got him on campus, the difference between them and Texas during those years was that guys at Alabama had to compete.
Yeah, well, they were coached hard.
Dudes at Texas just got there and rested on their recruiting laurels.
And that's the thing that bugs me the most is, I don't think you're ever going to get what you think you're going to get out of these kids unless you can coach them hard.
Oh, yeah.
But with the transfer portal the way it's set up, you can't coach them hard anymore.
No.
Feelings get hurt. I'm on the first train out.
Yeah. Dan Narva's got some comments. He already thought Scatabo was good, but man, what a warrior. A lot of yardage from that kid and really asserted himself to at least have been a Heisman finalist, if not the Heisman winner.
Yeah, he earned a follow on the Twitters from me last night. Him and Kenny Dillingham.
Hmm.
So if Joe C decides he wants to go another direction, I hope he throws a big fat bag of cash at Kenny Dillingham.
If you're going, you're looking at a year from now, and we'll get into that real quick. But let me read Dan's other comment. Neuheisel remarked that they watchdog Gabriel with Caleb Downs in the first half to shut off his running.
Yeah,
Dylan is a savvy runner with
he's not a great athlete, but he's just
he's not
good
Kyler
enough.
Murray, but he
No,
will
he's
pick the
but
spot and stick it to you.
he's just fast and athletic enough to burn your ass.
Man, I tell you,
Ask Texas.
I want to see Jack Sawyer in Ewer's face all night long.
Definitely.
That's going to be the kicker because I think what. Oh man,
Touchdown Ole Miss
yeah,
in those beautiful uniforms.
That was a heck of a
look at those. Man, look at
catch.
those things.
Looks like Ole Miss will be going up 24-7, I think here. But no, I think that's what Arizona State was dialing up. Get the pressure on yours, see if he'll make a mistake, and he just stood in there.
They should have just gone with what they were doing all game.
Yeah, just hold him at the hold him at
stay in the pocket.
Marker.
Make him stay in the pocket.
But they did a heck of a job not giving Texas any running game last night.
No, they were great against the run, which really, it was an enigma that they couldn't get any pressure on yours when he was throwing the football.
Yeah,
because they were just stoning him up front. They had 57 yards rushing for the game.
Oh yeah, I think most of that was all Wisner. I mean, they
had the kick return.
Yeah.
A couple fluky things happened. Arizona State has nothing to hang their heads about.
No, and what they'll do is they'll look at it and say, you see that they let one get away.
Yeah.
Man, that's a chunky receiver. Is that the guy that was out when OU played Ole Miss?
Yes, I believe the kids call it Thick.
Thick. THICC.
A couple of C's on there, yep.
Hey, speaking of kids, do you think our show has Riz?
I don't know if you do, but I'd like to think that I
hate
have
that
a
I
Riz.
even asked that. I hate that. Well, I mean, going forward, and this is where my original point came up, in that Texas is going to win it. They'll find the motivation to play well against Ohio State. Maybe Ohio State has the horses that just – I mean, here's the thing. We've seen that Texas is, number one ranked defense, which I have issue with that. We've seen that they can be exploited, and that was last night and then also Georgia. But the thing about, to me, is Ohio State third game going in for Texas, but it's probably really is it let me ask you this, is it better or worse that Ohio State breezed and Texas had to fight in double overtime?
You can always have that hangover. Texas has always been susceptible to that hangover after the OU game when it's a good game, right?
Well, you can say they had a hangover about
we're going
this
in,
season.
Ohio State was able to keep guys healthy, because they didn't have to play a lot of guys in the fourth.
No.
So, you got an extra quarter of rest right there. Texas,
do you have faith?
They had to claw into a double overtime game.
Yeah.
There's going to be an emotional hangover there. And Ohio State is playing better than anybody right now.
Yeah. Penn State's looked good. They haven't played the competition that Ohio State's played.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And
really,
neither has Texas.
Yeah. I mean,
they were a 13.5 point favorite going into that game yesterday.
Yeah. Well, going into the first round, I thought Penn State had – well, no, it would have been Ohio State against Tennessee with the toughest first round matchup, but it proved to not be.
No.
I mean, I was more – I out of the matchups, SMU going to Happy Valley was the one I thought could go up there and give them some problems, and they didn't.
And I'm not one of those guys that will ever chant SEC, but Tennessee's got a damn good football team, and they took them apart.
Who's got a good football team?
Tennessee.
Yeah.
They are deep. They're big up front, both sides of the football, and Ohio State kicked their ass.
Yeah. It was a beat down, and and then to do that against Oregon, like you said, whatever.
Oregon, unlimited NIL funds, great roster.
Yeah.
Quarterback that's, I love
Savvy.
Dylan, but
Yeah. I mean,
he's been playing college football for 17 years.
yeah. Lenny Rowland checking in. So does that mean we should root for Texas? Hell no.
Lenny, I am disowning you right now.
Yeah,
You missed it if you just came in. If it was Texas v. University of Satan, we're rooting for Satan.
we're rooting for the pagans. So yeah. Well, and I look at it in Ohio State. The reason I worry about them dealing with Texas is just because it looks so obvious right now.
Oh yeah.
And
it does. It's
nobody would say that Texas has played up to their potential all season long.
It's like when Oklahoma was going to the LSU game favorite.
Yeah.
In 2003.
Yeah.
It was like all OU's got to do is just go out there and play their game. They're going to win it, and they got their ass kicked.
Yeah, a Brent Venables called defense.
Well, you got to realize that they had one first down in the second half. So
no, yeah, but wasn't the reverse that they scored on?
Yeah, no, that
in
was
the second half,
quarter.
huh?
I don't remember.
Yeah, well, but no, Ohio State, Penn State, man, Notre Dame. Look, I mean, you can't discount Notre Dame right now. Not with the way Riley Leonard played tonight, and not with the way their defense played. I know
Dame
Carson Beck was out, but I mean, Carson Beck was no world turner all season long.
No,
he's a turnover
Carson
machine.
Beck was. Georgia dropped one wide open touchdown pass I can think of, and I think I remember 3 other balls that would have been first downs on drives that ended in a punt.
Mm-hmm.
So his receivers weren't doing him any favors.
No. Lenny Rowland mentioning that Texas is playing at home. I've seen Ohio State file into bowls. They'll have their numbers there.
Ohio State's they're gonna represent themselves.
Yeah.
Well,
they travel really well.
Semifinal.
And there's probably a whole host of Buckeye fans in DFW too.
Yeah, I mean, DFW is pretty much owned by the University of Oklahoma. So
that's true, except for Mesquite. Why can't we get our legs into Mesquite?
I don't.
Or is it Duncanville?
No, we got guys from Mesquite, Duncanville.
That seems to be UT territory. I tell you, it's going to be interesting, and I'm looking forward to next week's matchups. That'll be, they may be duds, they may be great games. It's hard to say, and that's what you get with college.
We've had one really compelling playoff game.
Yeah,
that was it.
No,
that was it.
Every other one's been
7, 8 games.
In essence, some sort of blowout.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Another new Heisel. This is from Dan. Another new Heisel. Ohio State can't beat Michigan because they get sucked into thinking they can run the ball better than Michigan and therefore kind of cripple their air game. Basically, get duped out of what they do best. Interesting thought. So I could see that.
So he's saying it's the Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran theory. When Sugar Ray boxed, he could pummel Duran, but if he got into a slugging contest, Duran owned him.
You don't want to get a slugging slugging contest with the guy's nickname is Hands of Stone.
No. Trying to find my score app here. I'd love to nail down some potential spreads if they're available. I'm just at that point where we're on Facebook and I'm afraid to open up my Google Chrome on my desktop for fear of freezing us up.
I think McMurphy said that Texas would open as a 2.5-point favorite.
That's interesting.
I thought so too. Let's see. I'm gonna.
Hey, big game Sunday.
Oh, okay. So opening line is Ohio State -5.
Okay, I can get down with that.
Under is 54.5.
Yeah. Let's see. Bowl games tomorrow: North Texas State and North Texas and Texas State at the First Responder Bowl. That's
in the Bahama Bowl tomorrow.
It could be, if you want it to be.
I don't care.
Is that going to be? Oh, that's at Gerald J. Ford Stadium. I thought it was in DFW. Let's see here.
On
Notre Dame, Penn State.
Southern Methodist University.
Yeah, I've got Notre Dame at a point and a hook.
Notre Dame is favored, huh?
Over Penn State. Yeah.
Let's see. I've got okay. This is on the mothership. Notre Dame is a point and a hook.
Lenny
That's
Roldan,
interesting.
anybody going to the Cotton Bowl? No.
No, I'm not
Lenny,
paying money to watch those jackasses and
you
freaking
know, if
Burn Orange play
Cugnano's got this
football.
much money to go places, he should be sponsoring this show.
He should be.
I'd let him come on if he wanted to. And I've got on my score app, Ohio State's a 6-point favorite.
Yeah, it opened at 5.
Five and
I
a
think
half.
it's up to 6.5 right now.
So a lot of people taking Texas.
I guess so, but well, yeah, no, it opened at 5, so and then now it's 6.5. So there's a lot of money going to Ohio State. That's how it works.
Sorry.
The more money goes to Ohio State,
yeah,
the
you're right.
bigger the line gets going that way.
Hey,
I don't know. I don't gamble, Chuck.
Yeah, we don't endorse it. And if you have a problem, dial 1-800-GAMBLER. Lenny Roldan waiting for free tickets. Yeah, sure. That's going to happen. No, and looking at those spreads, I started Prevagen this week. So
how's that working for you?
I will see. I forget.
What day did you start it?
Monday or Tuesday?
I like that.
Monday or Tuesday. Lenny Roldan, is Barry working for the mothership? No, he works for the Tulsa World, but I'm assuming he's taking an unpopular opinion.
Uh-oh. Why? What's Barry saying, Lenny? You're going to have to throw us a link or don't.
I need to subscribe to the Tulsa World. I need to subscribe to Now, let me ask you this. If Bill Connolly's on ESPN Plus to look at his articles, is that the same ESPN Plus that would give me
Disney Plus and Hulu
games and everything?
That is, TV? Yes. I do subscribe to it, so if you ever need anything from Bill, I will send you screenshots.
Okay, I think I'm just going to bite the bullet here in 2025 and pay the mothership their due.
Fantastic.
Because I mean they've got such great broadcasting crews that bring you these wonderful games.
He's still going to bitch about Jordan Rodgers. Yeah, he's terrible. You're right. I can't argue.
Actually, I'm probably going to. Man, how about Jake Plummer last night?
Right.
I mean, he's kind of Sparky's Matthew McConaughey. He was channeling fentanyl Santa last night.
Well, you know what he does, right? You know what he's doing right now. He's a mushroom farmer.
There you go. Psilocybin mushrooms.
Psilocybin, yeah.
There you go.
There you go. He was probably tripping balls.
He's probably tripping. Last night. I heard somebody use the phrase medicinal mushrooms, and I was kind of like, "What?"
The best kind, bro.
Go ahead. I gave up substances in 2025. Toasted the New Year's with 2 glasses of champagne. Felt like crap overnight. And said, "Nope, I'm done."
What's in that can you've been sipping off of?
That is a Canada Dry cranberry ginger ale.
Oh wow, that sounds
ginger ale is my getaway now.
Yeah.
Let's see here. There's another bowl game tomorrow. Yeah, Duke's Mayo Bowl, Minnesota and Virginia Tech tomorrow at 6:30.
Whoa, I thought that's usually an SEC team.
Well, you had 2 Big 12 teams in the Alamo Bowl too, so things changed, Jeremy.
Oh my God, I can't deal with this right now.
Buffalo and Liberty are in the Bahama Bowl tomorrow morning.
Ooh, Buffalo and Liberty.
Yeah, and
Jerry Falwell,
yeah, home of Hugh Freeze.
That's right.
And Narvis says Alice with the mushroom emoji. So, yeah. But no, it was the broadcaster energy for ESPN this college football bowl season. Dusty and Dave Pash took a beating last week for the Alamo Bowl. Pash, I'll always give Dusty a pass because I think he truly goes into it saying I'm going to be objective. Now,
and Dusty
was the storylines that are surrounding one certain team, definitely.
Dusty was doing studio work yesterday. He was quite good, actually.
He was on SVP last night.
Yeah,
talking about that thing that I refused to talk about.
Yeah. I saw Dusty at the gym the day John Mateer committed. Yeah, and I saw it on my phone. I looked at him, and he gave a little fist pump. So, yeah. OU DNA.
Yeah. Maybe you could fist bump him onto the show.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Uh, get you a business card. So, no, Dusty, I give, like I said, I give him the benefit of the doubt because I've listened to him a lot, and I think he does an outstanding
He
job.
does a very good job.
Pash, I mean, he worked with Bill Walton for so long. He has to have some PTSD on some of these broadcasts,
Oh,
right?
you got to think that. I mean, who would you say is the best play-by-play guy in college football besides Gus?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got to go with Gus, and I'll even throw Klatt in on that.
Well,
Um,
Clatton does color. I mean, he doesn't do
well,
play-by-play.
I'm
I'm
just,
talking about
yeah, but I'm
play-by-play.
when I said I kind of lump it in with a broadcast, the
Sure.
entirety of the broadcast. So probably one would be Gus and Klatt.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't until the playoff committee got underway. I didn't have a problem with anything Herb Street did this year. The guy's doing 3 games a week.
Herb Street on the air doing games. It's great.
Yeah,
I enjoy him on the NFL broadcast.
yeah. I mean,
I
and
like his dog.
prepping for those amount of games. I tell you, I'll be straight with you, and I don't watch a lot of Gus and Joel because sorry, Dan, close your ears. I don't particularly care to watch that much Big Ten yet. That could change in this upcoming season.
I mean, now they have to deal with Gary Danielson, so God bless them.
Yeah, but I mean those Fox Big Noon broadcasts, Joel and Gus are great, but I'm not just zoomed in on the two teams playing.
Yeah, that was always the only good part about OU being in the Big 12 is we get Joel and Gus a lot.
Yeah, we did, but
Because 11 a.m. kick.
who was on with Lewis Riddick the other night?
Oh,
Who's
man.
his play-by-play?
What game was it?
Yeah,
Was it Tirico?
Oh,
Tirico's fantastic.
it could. No, Tarico's on NBC.
Yes.
He's NFL.
And Al Michaels still does a good job.
Here's a guy.
Oh, God, I can't deal with that dude.
No, Tarico's studio, isn't he?
No, Tirico does he does play-by-play on, does he not do Sunday Night Football?
Dan Narva, have you heard Jason Benetti? I actually
Tim Brando, yeah.
I
Tim
Can't stand Brando.
He's been around forever. Yeah.
Laney Rowland said BYU showed us who Colorado really is. I'll say this: BYU made a statement regardless of who they played in that Alamo Bowl, and regardless of what you thought or didn't think about Colorado, BYU showed that on any given week, preparing with time to prepare, they can go out and compete.
Yeah, they've got a really good football team this year. I mean, remember who did they beat early in the season that made the playoffs?
SMU.
SMU. Yeah.
SMU without their starting quarterback, but
well, he played. He just didn't play a lot. They were still hitched to Preston Stone.
Yeah. Let me see here. So yeah, Lewis Riddick. Who I'm trying to think who he was on with the other night. Lewis Riddick. CBS doesn't have anybody that I just.
And I'm going to say this again, and I'll keep saying it. Kevin Harlan should call every game. And if it's not Kevin Harlan, it should be Gus. And that's it.
Kevin is the GOAT on radio. TV doesn't support him the way it does others, and I don't know why that is. And it's probably because he doesn't get the premier color commentary guys. Would that be safe to say?
Yeah, I would say that. And the guy's good enough. You would think they would put him with somebody who you think they put him with somebody that would have the same game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So who's the poor soul that's got to keep Tom Brady propped up while he's learning the game?
I don't even know that guy's name, but he's probably wanting to drive off a cliff or something.
Well, yeah, and you know the story with Brady, right?
What?
Well, since he's a part owner of the Raiders, he cannot attend production meetings. He can't tour facilities. He can't have anything to do with any of the pregame.
So his play-by-play is basically hamstringed from the get-go.
Well, I mean, he does offer insight, but it's like Tony Romo that first year.
Yeah.
but without any inside knowledge of the organization other than what he's seen
Well, I'll tell you
on like
who's.
TV.
I'll throw down who's the best NFL color commentator. Greg Olson.
Yeah, he does a good job,
I can't,
and
and I
he
don't
got
like the
screwed in
guy.
that whole deal with
He
Brady.
got
No, he does a
hosed.
good job.
Yeah. I mean, he does the noon game. If it's not,
Yeah, he took a significant cut in pay because he was no longer the on the A team
well,
for Brady.
it's because of name recognition and not because of quality. Because he is
And if
extremely
Peyton
good.
Manning ever decided he wanted to do it, these guys would all be out of a job because
Oh
that
yeah,
guy, he's funnier than it's not fair how funny that guy is.
yeah. I Monday nights I started watching all Manning cast when they were on.
He's a very very smart guy. He knows. I mean, you think Romo can dissect every single play. Peyton Manning
Mm-hmm.
was incredible as a quarterback,
We
and
know
he's got the he's got the craft. He could get on there, and he
as
would.
yeah, as far as the analysis goes, along with it, I'll give Eli credit too. His delivery's not as crisp as Peyton.
Yeah, he's the goofy brother.
He's Fredo, but he's good. I mean,
Oh, hey, Fredo won 2 Super Bowls
I was going
for
to say,
a moribund Giants franchise.
41 minutes ago, Joel Klatt tweeted out the hypothetical tough guys are taking some serious lumps in real games.
Yeah. Hey, this, and we've talked about this ad nauseum.
Mm-hmm.
It's the NIL and its transfer portal. It has killed down the line depth. These teams that could just build, juggernaut teams, they're not able to do it anymore.
Kirby Smart on press conference, Fox College Football tweets out, quote, "It's really unfortunate because I've been told by our head officials in the SEC, you can't do that. You can't run 11 on and 11 off. Dude, you got bigger problems than that punt, that punt play."
Oh my God.
So,
Seriously? Seriously, what about the other,
hey,
54 minutes of the game they got their asses whipped?
here's the thing, Marcus Freeman, that guy has really turned a corner as a coach in my mind.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
I mean,
Hey, Brian Kelly left Notre Dame because he didn't feel like he could win big games there.
yeah, and who's in the playoffs?
Yeah, and Brian
Semifinals.
Kelly's still not winning big games.
No.
So maybe that's a him problem.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how, I mean, they had their 5-star quarterback commit flip.
Yeah, well, now he's going to Michigan.
Speaking of flipping and going to the Big Ten, what's our story that we're hearing? What is actually any concrete evidence that, first off, there may be some tampering with regards to Quinn Ewers, and who would be the prime suspect in that?
Honestly,
Yeah, honestly,
Oregon.
that's what I thought. I saw that on a Yahoo article, but then
Again, he's won the Scarlet and Gray before.
he's gone. He's been there before. Under what did Urban recruit him?
Yes.
Yeah. So could be a whole different ordeal under Urban Meyer. Somebody on Twitter even threw out Michigan State, which I don't know that they're going to bankroll their. That would have to be a large chunk of their NIL fund for one guy.
I don't think that. What about the Holgerson? Yeah, that's big time. He's your OC. The guy can coach up offense.
Yeah.
But
and he can recruit receivers
Quinn,
because Matthew Golden was at Houston last year, and
I don't see Quinn going to Michigan State.
Oregon would be the one. Oregon or Ohio State would be the ones that would have the kind of money that they're. I mean, it's $6 million.
But I mean, I'm sure Oregon State or Michigan State could come up with that. But is he going to go up there to not win? Yeah, no way. Sparty NIL is a mess.
That's the voice of authority.
I mean, Oregon paid Dylan Gabriel. It worked out until it didn't.
Hey, guess who's leading 86-71 with 1:29 left in the third quarter?
Oklahoma City. Last time I looked, they were down by 12, but
yeah,
they woke up in the third quarter again.
A little bit of a turnaround there.
God, I love that team.
They're fun. I'll give you that. I know you're excited about them. They're not my team. I'm a Spurs fan, but they're fun and love the two J Wills and J Dubs. And
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is the best player in the NBA right now.
I'll say this, and I'm not working for the NBA obviously anymore. I did back during the Big Three. They had a totally different vibe around them than what I would gather any of these guys have.
Yeah.
I mean, they rolled into the league knowing it was a business. These guys seem to be in
They're having fun.
having fun, playing on house money.
You know, Jay, we're talking about oh, that's on the court. That's probably J Dub. Or no, that's Jay Will. I'm sorry, I can't keep them straight. All right, so Jalen Williams has 17. Hartenstein's got 9 and 6. SGA shooting in 30 minutes, 9 of 16 from the floor, 2 of 4 from 3 points, 9 of 9 from the line, 29 points with a plus 20 in the minus in the Rob plus minus.
Yeah. Lenny Rowland, what's the score on OU versus Texas? Is that basketball tonight? I guess. Let me look and see.
That would be the women's game.
I knew it wasn't. Sorry, it didn't specify that was men's.
Let me look. I got it right here. It is 34-28. Good guys.
Yeah, OU Lady Sooners.
4:48 left in the second quarter. Second quarter. I forgot
good
they
team.
put quarters in women's basketball.
Kenny Baranchik's got them playing well, and then OU basketball. I saw that Jeremiah Fears is projected as a number 4 pick.
Yeah, we're not going to see him long, guys. Get out there and watch him.
Any chance
he is dynamite?
Any chance that Presti's rolling the dice, and or would he be too much of the same with this squad?
I don't. He could. I. You know what? I don't want to pretend I know what Sam Presti does, because every time I think he's going to do one thing, he does something else, and it works out way better than I could have hoped. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Dan Narva, the other thing is Jonathan Smith. Jonathan Smith put the hard sell to pull Aiden Childs with him to MSU. Would be kind of like stabbing his own recruit in the back. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that was just somebody tweeted something on a response. No real authority there. It would have to be Oregon or Ohio State. To
Michigan State's still in the midst of a rebuild. Just let them rebuild it.
$6 million and take the other. I mean, would Penn State be? Is Aller a senior?
I think he's got a year left. I think he's already said he's coming back.
Yeah. So I mean, Will Howard's a senior, right? He's got to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it had to be the Scarlet and Gray or the Ducks, right?
Unless Michigan wants to take him for a 1-year rental so they can let their 5-star have a year to sit.
Yeah. I mean,
Lenny's got free tickets Sunday to watch the Sooners men.
That'll be fun.
They play Saturday. They got Alabama. They're in Tuscaloosa Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They start SEC play. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're at Tuscaloosa. All right. So, I mean, it's just so much going on. It's a lot of fun, but I don't know. End of the year, I was thinking, and I commented on a post talking about the end of the year, top sports stories at the end of the year. And I mean, the fact that OU softball gets no love nationally is just stunning to me.
They won
4, Pete?
4 in a row. They've won 4 in a row.
Yeah. They get shunned on the SB because, South Carolina basketball went undefeated. Okay.
I mean, it's hard to repeat.
It's hard to repeat.
Damn near impossible to three-peat. These girls won 4 stinking natties in a row.
I just have to wonder if people aren't buying into the narrative of them playing a home field on.
No,
I'm not saying I'm up for it. I'm not saying I believe it.
I know it's ridiculous, but we've seen generational teams get to play the national championship game in their home stadium, or in their home state.
Yeah, LSU, and every one of LSU's titles.
LSU, Miami getting to play at the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
So, who cares?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lenny took his daughter to the game last Sunday when they played. Was that Pine Bluff? Lenny, I can't remember.
Prairie View.
Prairie View.
Yeah.
Why did I say Pine Bluff?
Started with a P.
Yeah.
Well, that phrase would then be watched, not watch fears. That past
Yeah.
tense.
Yeah. Still, the kid's dynamite. And you got Fierce on the men's team. You got Bierce on the women's team.
Yep, fears and beers and
Bierce and Bierce.
uh, OU portal additions, and I need to pull up my Twitter on this because I
Got a kicker, brother,
got a kicker.
from Kennesaw State.
Kennesaw, 2 players from Kennesaw this season, right?
3. Got
3.
a tight end from Kennesaw, got a punter from Kennesaw, and got a kicker from Kennesaw.
If you're going to fire your coach after he brings the program in the FBS, we're going to raid your closet.
Sure. Good Lord. I know that the punter was good because he got a lot of work because I think OU and Kennesaw were right there at the bottom of the FBS in offense. So he got a lot of opportunity to punt.
All right, here it is. Let me pull this up. Jacob Ulrich, punter, Kennesaw State. Yeah. Luke Baklenko,
yeah.
Stanford.
That's the kid from Stanford, yeah.
Offensive lineman. Wide receiver Giovanni Gibson, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Wide receiver Keontez Lewis, Southern Illinois. Quarterback John Mateer, Washington State. That's the one Jeremy shared with his buddy Dusty. Offensive lineman Derek Simmons, Western Carolina.
That's a good get from all
Connor's
accounts.
favorite wide receiver, Isaiah Sategna, Arkansas. Sategna.
Now, okay, a lot of people take an exception that they've taken wide receivers from smaller programs, and they got the Josiah, was it Martin?
Yeah, I was about to get to that.
Yeah. All 4 of the wide receivers they took were top 60 players in the portal.
Yeah. 2 players from Western Carolina. One was the offensive lineman, and we also got a quarterback Cole Gonzalez, Western Carolina. Tight end Will Huggins, Pittsburgh State. He's a massive individual. You
can't coach 6'7", 250, Chuck.
No, you cannot. And Josiah Martin, as you mentioned, transfer from Cal, and then kicker Austin Welch from Kennesaw State. So Kennesaw and Western Carolina contributing heavily to the OU NIL or portal additions.
And I've got and Marvin Jones, edge rusher from Florida State, is on a visit in Norman this weekend.
Yeah.
Now, his father, Marvin Jones, who played in the NFL, is the head coach for the Indoor Football League team in Tulsa.
Ew.
So do with that what you will.
Yeah.
But he nice was also he chose Florida State over Oklahoma when Riley was here. So he's on a visit. That's a good sign. They could always use another edge rusher. Defense is going to be stout regardless. But, more dudes that can ball, the better.
Yeah. And plus we'll see portal entries after these playoffs are over, right? I mean,
it closes January. Oh man, is it 20th? No, that's the inauguration. It closes sometime this month, but then you're going to have a spring window.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's right, Dan. We got us a gorilla.
A gorilla, yeah. Pittsburgh State. Actually, there's a kid that I called his games at Weatherford that's at Pittsburgh State right now, Gage Stiegel, 6'5", 330 pounds.
Man, and what a great mascot, The
Gorillas.
The Gorillas. That is fantastic. That's right up there with the Akron Zips or Toledo Rockets.
Yeah. Chip. No, what is it? Who is it I'm thinking of? Well, the Hilltoppers. That's
Western Kentucky.
Yeah, Western Kentucky.
Not just that, their mascot.
I'm pretty fond of Miners.
Yeah, UTEP Miners is great.
UTEP listed as the top 10 or listed in the top 10 Group of 5 recruiting classes, number 10.
Fantastic.
I mean, for a program like that, that's got to be huge.
Oh, that's massive.
Yeah.
They're still in the are they in
Conference
the Sun Belt?
USA.
They're in Conference USA.
Or America. Dang it. Are they in America?
Are they the AAC?
Oh.
Do I need to ask Siri?
It would help.
It would be really cool if UTEP could be good.
Well, I mean, out of the University of Texas system, they're by far the most creative with their things.
Oh yeah, the navy blue mat with the pickaxe on
them and the Road Runners.
Oh yeah,
great orange and blue color scheme. Yeah, I don't know. So going forward this week, we've got playoff games. Also, as we mentioned, I think before we got on the air, 6 OU Sooners named to the Pro Bowl team. One glaring exception.
Those bastards.
They left. They hosed you twice. No Mahomes and no Baker.
Okay. UTEP is in Conference USA.
Okay, I
Um,
didn't know if they. I didn't think they'd moved up.
I I can't. Okay, so the three quarterbacks chosen: Goff, Jaden Daniels, and who was the third?
Is it? Is it? Is it Jalen? No, he'd be listed as
No,
number
no,
one.
no. It was
Um,
Sam
Sam
Darnold.
Darnold.
You know, yeah, Baker has his stats are very comparable. You know, I
Hey, be careful how we know how we go at stats because Stephen A. Smith is getting roasted because
That's
he.
true. I give Jaden Daniels. Okay, kid's a rookie. He's got the rushing stats. He's thrown a lot of tutties. Hadn't turned the ball over a lot. Kid's had a great year. I don't begrudge him anything. Darnold, he's doing. He's right there with Baker. He got written off, sent to another bad franchise from a horrible franchise, written off there, got to go somewhere else for a minute, and now he's just killing it.
Have you seen the AI press conferences?
I have, yeah, I
Did you
saw
see
that little.
Baker's AI press conference
I did.
bragging on
And,
Carolina? They tried to.
and, and Baker was the MVP of the Pro Bowl games last year. I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah,
Just more fuel to his fire.
yeah.
Yeah, and same thing with Mahomes. He does not give a damn about being a Pro Bowler. You know what he
No.
cares about? That award they give to the best player in the Super Bowl.
That's true.
So if he gets
Uh,
his fourth this year, I'm sure it'll assuage some of those pains he's going through.
Creed Humphrey, Lane Johnson, Nick
CD,
Bonito, Marvin Mims, Joe Mixon, and who else am I missing?
CD Lamb,
Is that six?
Joe Mixon, CD Lamb, Lane, Creed,
Marvin and Nick. Yeah.
Marvin, and Nick. Yep.
Yeah.
And Bonito has just killed it.
Yeah.
What a great year that dude's had. And it's awesome to see.
Now, if Denver wins this weekend against a Kansas City team that has nothing to put any starters out there for, are they in?
Yes. And, Kansas City's starting the human hot dog this week, so.
Wentz?
Yes.
Man, hey, go back to that draft. What was he, 2018?
Carson Wentz, was the number 2 overall pick.
2017?
Yeah, out of North Dakota State.
That was
no quarterbacks from ND State have worked out in the NFL. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, Trey Lance never even got a shot, but
they still think Cooper Rush is the answer down there.
Oh yeah, I mean, Trey Lance can't overcome. I don't know, but that draft and I forget it was either 2017 or 2018. Was it? See, Baker was drafted in 2018, so was it the year before?
So the 2018 draft was Baker, Lamar.
Okay, so it was the year before that because the year before that
was Watson
near
that draft.
I don't know. Did Watson go number 1 to Houston?
No, he didn't go number 1.
Okay. So, anyways, I remember the same year that Wentz was drafted, Paxton Lynch was drafted out of Memphis. And you talk about two flaming turds that just wailed out of the league. Of course, Wentz is on a roster at least.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so what year is this? 2017 draft was the Trubisky number 2 overall draft. And that was when Mahomes was taken 10th overall by the Chiefs.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't see a lot of quarterbacks in that first round. Deshaun Watson went 12th. Bust.
I can't effort this because it'll freeze us up. So sorry.
Yeah, I know. So that's 2017. I've got it up on the mothership, and they've got a drop down box with
Paxton
Baker
Lynch.
in 18 was Darnold 3, Josh Allen 7,
so
Josh Rosen 10.
I mean, the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2019, so Wentz was already there. Maybe it was 2016 that he got drafted.
I think it was 2016.
Okay.
Because he didn't start. Well, he did start right away. 2016 was Carson Wentz's number 1 overall pick, Pro Bowler Jared Goff.
Yep, there you go.
He was extremely underrated because that dude is playing some ball.
Came out of Cal, and you know who coached him there?
That would have been, was that Tedford?
Sonny Dykes.
Sonny Dykes.
Sonny Dykes at Cal.
They were running the Graham Harrell offense.
Yeah, I do believe you're right. And
Paxton Lynch went 26th overall to Denver.
I don't. If he started a game, I don't know. Lady Rowland on the comments says they're punishing Baker for his interceptions. Also, don't forget Burrow won the FFB with him. Cincinnati must watch. They're favored at Pittsburgh this week, but Pittsburgh I don't know. It's hard to say. Really, the only team that has to fear Cincinnati is Kansas City.
Yeah, but Kansas City's beaten them 3 times in a row.
That's true. Wentz has a Super Bowl ring. Yes, he does. And Nick
as
Foles,
a backup.
Thanks to Nick Foles, he has a Super Bowl ring. Hey, real quick, Ashton Genty doesn't make the record to surpass Barry Sanders. Saquon Barkley won't surpass Eric Dickerson.
Barkley's not playing?
I've heard that he's not.
He needs 101 yards to break that record.
I've heard that they're going to sit him.
They could have played him the rest of that quarter against Dallas in that last game, and he would have broke the record because they had no answer for him. They were worn out.
I kind of mentioned that to John Matthews this morning. I was on 95.5 the Coyote, and I threw that.
And if Genty would have broke that record, Barry did it in 11 games.
Yeah.
His ball, he had 220 yards in the stinking bowl game.
Bowl game didn't count. Yeah. And everybody says, oh, well, offenses were geared more to, to run the ball then. Well, defenses were geared more to stop the run back then.
You know who couldn't stop him and also beat their ass?
Oklahoma.
Barry Switzer did,
yeah.
Dang it.
Hey, how do you think Barry Sanders would have did against a 3-3-5?
He would have ate.
Is that what the young kids say?
That's what they say.
That might remind me. That might be a short that we put on the YouTube page.
All right.
Can it be a short if I mention that it should be a short?
I don't know.
Okay,
but Barry was. Ashton Genty's a good player, but he averaged 150 yards a game. Barry averaged 2.25 a game. Man, I mean. Yeah, I'm giggling about it because I remember watching him and just being amazed by him.
Yeah.
And I hated Oklahoma State, but he was so damn good.
Brent Parker, the only reason Barry got out of Stillwater with a win that night.
Yeah.
Man. Still 24-7, just starting the third in the Gator Bowl.
106-78, OKC.
Boy, that's a woo! They fired it up in the second half, didn't they?
Yeah, they woke up bigly.
Yeah, you had mentioned off the air that wow, they did all that in just the hour we've been on the air.
I'm gonna tell you. So it was 52-48 at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
OKC in the third quarter, 42-20. And they've got 30. Gracious. They've got it is 60-6 in the fourth quarter right now.
This is
a team that is learning how to close, Chuck.
Oh yeah, it's still 7 minutes left. So gracious, 6 points. Amir Coffey leading the Clippers with 22 points. I'm going to guess, but was this is a big hurdle to throw out there. But was Kawhi Leonard not available?
Neither him or James Harden, who had a beard trim.
Who else they got out there?
They got Norman Powell, Vika Zubac, Derrick Jones Jr., Chris Dunn, Nicholas Batum. He's still in the league? That guy's like 40. Yeah. Mo Bamba. Man, Kevin
Texas
Porter
Mo Bamba?
Jr., Kobe Brown. OKC needs the Clippers to lose every game from here on out because they own the Clippers one this year and it's unprotected.
They might be in the driver's seat on that.
And the Clippers are 19-14 right now.
The Clippers what?
Or 19-14 right now.
Yeah.
Getting ready to be 19-15, but
Yeah.
hey.
Huh.
106-80.
Dan Narva, Barry's old man, wanted him to be a Sooner. No, yeah, I think that was story. Barry's dad was a big OU fan.
Yeah, that VHS tape, maybe it was a Betamax. I don't know. It was 1986, 85. It never got sent on from Stillwater.
Pat knew what he was doing.
By and large, yeah.
By and large, he's got a lot of wiggle to him. All right, we need to start getting out of here, but Thunder look like they're cruising to another victory, and playoff football will be next. Playoff football in the NFL begins a week after this. Man, I tell you, Jeremy, that Christmas scheduling of Wednesday night games and
oh my goodness,
man, that was a lot of football over a Christmas weekend.
I mean, it was great, but if you're a fan of a team that people want to see on TV, you're like, man, they're beating the crap out of my guys out there.
By Monday, I mean, it was so bad by Monday night that Van Pelt and Stanford Steve just couldn't do any bad beats. They just we're calling it a week.
Yeah.
Did you see Cam Newton on First Take this morning when Ryan Clark was talking about Arizona State?
No. What did he say?
It was a clip, and I it was their panel. And I'll give the mothership credit. I think they realized Dan Orlovsky is better in spells. You can't have 4 shows a day with Dan Orlovsky. They tried.
I like Dan, but he's one of those guys that can't pronounce a hard T.
No, it drives me insane. Him and Joy Taylor. But anyways, Ryan Clark's talking about Arizona State and them belonging in the playoffs and this and that, and Cam Newton's laughing and giggling at him, taking him to task, and so is Elle Duncan. Well, then people take Elle Duncan to task in the comments, and man, she's going at him. And I tell you, this is sad, but one of these days I'm gonna just not care about anything, and I'm gonna make the Joe Boo comparison.
You're not gonna care anymore. Just
not gonna care anymore. Not gonna care what anybody says, or she's going to get the Joe Boo comparison. And I'm saying it right here, but this is probably going to get a lot more. Get a lot more traction if I put it in the comments of a tweet.
Just throw the short of hey bartender, Joe Boo needs a refill, and it would be perfect.
Here's Joe Boo. I have not seen a human being look more like Joe Boo than Elle Duncan. I'm telling you, is the eerie comparison.
So Cam, Cam lately has had some good takes. I guess he just wasn't because he's an SEC guy.
Yeah, he was Florida and then Auburn. So yeah.
We haven't drank the Kool-Aid yet.
I won't. I
won't either because
it's OU overall. It's how it always
about
has
one
been.
team. I don't give a rat's ass about the rest of the conference. It can burn down for all I care.
Because if your team is going to, like for Oklahoma, if they're going to turn the program around, you want teams to be competitive that if you beat them, it's considered a great win.
Yes,
but I don't want I want Texas to be 1-12.
I want them to lose every time they play.
Yeah, because here's my thinking on that. Because Texas fans are like Michael Myers or something. You think they're dead, and then they just spring back to life.
They're just sitting there waiting.
Yeah,
they know and even deep down, if you put a truth serum in them.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. They know in 3 years they're going to suck.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they do.
Because they're back.
That's my prayer.
Their ability to be back and stay back is always been. It's never been longer than when a daggum Sooner was their head coach, Darrell K. Royal, and they won 2 natties.
I just don't know if that's going to be the case now with the money involved.
Oh, I know.
They've always had plenty of money. But I said, it'll take Sark pulling a page from his, new mentor. And I guess it would have had to have been under Pete Carroll too.
Sure.
But getting, you can pay these guys, you can get #1 recruiting class, you get them on campus, but then you got to have them compete.
Yeah.
And
I
so
mean,
that was a problem with a lot of Max teams
uh-huh.
late. That was the problem with, I mean, because here's the thing, Mac Jones, if he doesn't have OU on his schedule, or if he's not in the same division as Oklahoma in the Big 12, how many BCS bowls? How many more BCS bowls does he make?
Oh, several.
Yeah,
But he couldn't beat Bob Stoops.
5-year win streak that Stoops
Yeah.
had against Mac Brown.
Yeah. I mean, Bob Stoops used him as an ottoman for about a decade.
Big time. And so, I mean, but that was a situation where Mac was getting who they wanted. Great recruiter, great program, great facilities. Pat Jones, Barry Switzer, they've been vocal about saying Texas is the best job in America. But, Sark, I don't know what makes him twist. I don't know, I know he's got a quote ex-wife, estranged wife, whatever the case is, it's lingering around every press conference he gives.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't.
She wants
I
that
mean,
dough.
the pole assassins in the background. Who knows what can implode with that?
Well, here's the thing. Nice pick. Texas is going to be good.
Yeah.
Now, is this sustainable?
They're back.
We don't know. We don't know that because we've seen all these other programs, Oregon, Mississippi, throw all this money around, and it's a matter of what? Jack squat.
Yeah.
And eventually, Sark's human. He's going to get tired of playing the game with the boosters and the administration down there because Mac finally did. And Mac played the game better than anybody down there.
Oh, yeah.
Did he not?
He had the most control.
But, I mean, that guy he could recruit a kid best in the living room in November.
Yeah.
And then he could turn around and shake hands with those boosters and make them happy too.
Yeah. And I guess
it takes a lot out of you.
I guess where I was going with the Michael Myers concept in Texas fans is you look back at those years. We beat them 12-0 in 2004. That was their one loss. They go to beat Michigan, a mid Michigan team in the Rose Bowl, and it just set up their confidence for the next season. Now we were down after a huge senior class, but still, and here's the thing, and I guess we will address the elephant in the room. Last night, you and I have seen that same thing play out with that program for the last 25 years when it's been clutch.
Hell yeah.
05, Kansas, phantom pass interference call.
Yep.
Block in the back on the Jordan Shipley touchdown return in 08. Goes uncalled.
Obo Okoronkwo getting unpantsed about 50 times in the Cotton Bowl. Keith Stansberry.
Oh, yeah.
1984, picking a ball off in the end zone, rolling over twice.
So I should have never gotten upset last night because I should just be.
Because that was bound to happen.
Yeah. But then also the 09 Big 12 championship with the pass out of bounds.
Oh, yeah. They'll put a second back on the clock.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just always going to be there for them when they need it.
Dollar signs.
$signs. You said it, BCS. And Gino was dead on for going on now 18 years.
Yep.
I don't know. All right. Music-wise, anything that you've stumbled upon over the holidays?
Oh, nothing really. I just kind of realized that all the new bands that I've kind of, picked up on, like Rival Son, Dirty Honey, they're all inspired by Ram Jam.
Really?
Remember Ram Jam?
Yeah. Black Betty.
Yep. We went and picked up a new guitar for my daughter.
Okay.
She's got her.
Have you seen the two
Les
girls?
Paul action.
Little what? Les Paul?
Les Paul. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know who's the greatest Les Paul player of all time, don't you?
Slash.
Les Paul.
Slash.
Some people say Ted Nugent.
I'm sorry. Alex Lifeson.
Yeah, Alex will be up there. So a lot of people say Nugent. It's funny, Rolling Stone, when they list their 100 greatest guitarists, they leave Nugent off of it because of his politics.
Dude, just for Stranglehold, man.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, just, I read a deal one time that said, I think it was when Les Paul passed away and some little comment in a magazine said that leaves Ted Nugent. But Lenny mentioned OU now trails Texas in women's basketball 40-39. That's in the third quarter.
Crap.
Why don't, and I'm going to get on a tear here as we were supposed to be talking music. Marty Wandry checking in. Hey, Marty, Happy New Year. College basketball for the men play 2 20-minute halves.
Yep.
Why did the women play 4 quarters?
Because it's stupid. I don't know. I think the rules should be yes, you heard Ram Jam, Dan. Ram Jam. Black
Dan
Betty.
saw them
That's
open
an
for
anthem,
Sticks
brother.
in the 70s.
Sticks. Wow.
Dan was there for the Pieces of 8 tour.
That's right.
Love you,
we
Dan.
also made a Rush reference. Alex Lifeson, one of the greatest guitarists that we've ever seen.
Dan was 24 when he saw Ram Jam open for Sticks on the Cornerstone tour.
How many times that Ram Jam clip of them playing Black Betty has, cycled through Facebook and Twitter for me the last 3 days.
Well, you know the funniest Ram Jam reference, don't you? On Family Guy, when they were about to break into a sad song, and Peter goes, nope, we can't afford it. He's like, okay, what can we afford? Black Betty by Ram Jam. Grand Illusion, actually. Hey, here's the thing. I won't hack on Dan's age too much, because at the ripe age of 11, yours truly saw Dennis DeYoung and Tommy Shaw on the Paradise Theater tour in Tulsa.
Sticks was really good.
80 or 81, I think.
Man.
I had older brothers, though. I had brothers 16 and 14 years older than me. They took me to some concerts at a young age. My first one was Jethro Tull in 1980.
Hey, do you remember Damn Yankees?
Yes. Tommy Shaw
and Uncle Ted.
Night Ranger, Jack Blades.
Yeah.
It's funny. I saw that cover and I thought, I wonder how many people could name the fourth guy in Damn Yankees.
I couldn't.
No. I did a little dive on YouTube. Then you roll in Spotify track. Paradise was later era Sticks. Yes, it was. It was probably the last album where they truly could. I know they did Mr. Roboto, but the Young had gotten a little too theater for them by that time.
That was a great episode of the series Chuck. If you've ever watched Chuck, when they do Mr. Roboto.
What was it, Chuck?
That's Zach Levi, Adam Baldwin. It was it was a good show.
Oh, okay, I think I remember.
Yeah.
There was one called Ed too.
Yeah, that was with Tom Cavanaugh.
Okay, was Julie Bowen on that too?
Yes, she was.
Okay. Do you remember the Ben Show?
The Ben Show.
It was a short-lived Comedy Central sketch comedy deal.
No, I don't remember that.
It's the one where the guy's talking about texting his friend going to the party, and he's going to be the mayor of Booby City.
Oh, wow. So Dan, his first Sticks was opening for Kiss in 75. That's the year I was born, Dan.
How?
Good Lord, they were still in the makeup then.
I get teased for being old, bud.
That was before they dropped the makeup, then went back to the makeup because, it didn't work without it.
Marty Wandry, look, Alan Jim playing music, LOL. If it was a quiz show, I would buy down on that. No, new music I've been checking out and did a deep dive on it last night was some of the collaborations of Alice in Chains, and one was Chris Cornell on some tracks with Lane and Jerry.
Yeah, Lane and Chris Cornell were probably the two greatest. In Living Color, yeah. The TV show, not In Living Color. The band was fantastic. Vernon Reid,
baby,
he's still an incredible guitarist.
When he dials out of that solo in Cult of Personality,
oh my goodness!
I would imagine somebody that's struggling with a 385 bench press probably just summons the energy all of a sudden once they hear that.
Kind of like when I hear the opening riff to Stranglehold.
See, that's not a workout song to me.
Dude, the opening.
Of course, I haven't worked out forever.
Yeah, the opening riff, man, is just like.
Yeah.
Then you got to throw some Tool in there. Make it
Godsmack.
right.
Seems like Godsmack would be the ultimate workout music.
Five Finger Death Punch, Chuck.
I got my lifted Ford Raptor in the back, and I'm getting sleeved up this month, baby.
Pantera, Mastodon, early
Oh,
Metallica,
that was
Ride the
another thing.
Lightning.
I pulled up a Pantera video. I did not know that Zach Wild
Yes.
was playing, with them, and as well as who was on drums? Dang it! Oh, Charlie Benani
Yeah,
from
Charlie
Anthrax, and
Yep.
then Rex and Phil from the original band. So yeah, I'm guessing that Dimebag's wife signed off on that and gave him the blessing, or I don't know that they would be doing it.
Yeah, I mean, how are you going to argue if Zach Wild wants to step into that
Well,
role?
I think Zach and Dime were pretty tight, and I imagine he played ambassador on that because
Zach Wild's
if you watch that
incredible.
behind the music on Pantera, Anselmo had really burned some bridges.
Oh, sure.
Before Dimebag got murdered.
Yeah, and that was the Damage Plan days. So
Yeah.
those bridges were burned.
Yeah, there was a lot of smack talk, and the family was pretty miffed at Phil, but maybe things have been smoothed over.
Just think of the bands. I mean, Pantera, they just fell apart. Guns N' Roses, Appetite, Use Illusion 1 or 2, and then nothing.
And I wasn't the biggest Guns N' Roses guy.
Musically, you got to respect, Slash.
Paradise City came out, and I was like, I could get down with that, but then everything afterwards, like, it kind of Dennis DeYoung'd me. It got real theatrical.
Go back and listen to Estranged again.
Okay.
It's on the Blue Use Your Illusion 2.
Mm-hmm. I thought I loved Civil War.
Yeah.
That was a great track. November Rain.
Just like 9.5 minutes long, but it's like anything you want to hear Slash do, he does in that song.
Yeah. Don't You Cry. By that time, I was like,
cry.
No.
Yeah.
91 was a rough year for me musically. A lot of groups that I like kind of took turns. I'm like, I don't know what this is.
That's when I was like, I'm a grunge guy now.
I bought my first. A roommate of mine bought Cowboys from Hell.
Hell yeah.
And I bought 10, and you couldn't drive down the road for more than 20 minutes and not hear Man in the Box, 10 times on the Cat.
Yeah.
Lenny Rowland, you stole the thought from my mind. Night Train.
Fantastic.
I was about to go there. Appetite for Destruction is true classic.
Oh, yeah. That's
Dan Narva.
He used to love her. Yeah, that was a good one, too.
She bitched
GNR. And that was on GNR Lies, which had
that
Civil
was
War.
EP, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was like 8 songs on it.
Queensryche, Dan Narva, thank you. Ooh. Operation Mindcrime, the GOAT of what are they called?
Glam metal.
No, the type of album. Come on, Prevagen. Queensryche, the whole way that their band has disintegrated is it's sad, but it's close to comical as well. Just the fact that they can't.
I never really got into the Queensryche.
I loved it. Operation Mindcrime hooked me. I saw them perform it live in '91 at the Myriad. They started out. The Empire had been released. They started out. They played the hit tracks. They played the main tracks off of Empire, and they did the full Mindcrime start to finish after that.
Yeah, and see,
concept.
I always like the Black Crowes.
Crows are awesome.
Great sound.
Yeah.
Vocals. Just the whole Southern bluesy rock.
Do you remember
dirt rock?
Are you able to remember, or were you gone after the Murrah bombing? Several bands did some benefit concerts.
Sure.
And one was the Black Crowes, and they performed. Dang it, it's my favorite song by them. Gosh, what is wrong with me?
Wiser Time.
Wiser Time. Thank you. We got it. Might have it on a opening track here.
I love that tune. One of my favorites by them, Sting Me. Don't know why, it just speaks to me.
Probably get copyrighted on that. Sorry.
There was what was the song? Was it one of their songs, Slash was supposed to come in and record a solo for, and he wasn't able to make it. So their sound engineer recorded the solo, and he ended up being a main part of the band.
On Appetite?
No, I'm talking about Black Crows.
Oh.
Man, I'm thinking it was on that first album. Might have been hard to handle.
Okay. Well, they used some genuine sound effects on Rocket Queen in the studio.
Rocket Queen was fun.
I saw a documentary about the women of glam rock.
Steven Adler's girlfriend.
The poor girl. My gosh. Yeah. Sad. Yeah, huge Queensryche fan. Loved them. Loved what they did, and like I said, Mindcrime spoke to me. But they were progressive hair metal. You couldn't lump them in with, Faster Pussycat or Kicks.
LA Guns.
LA Guns. All right. Well, listen. Check out. I'll send you the link. Actually, I'll post it on this page or this broadcast. But the Chris Cornell lane, it's called Right Turn.
Okay.
And it's outstanding. And then also, I found a Mastodon track from just a couple of years ago. Those guys still put out music. So,
real quick, Corey Taylor and Dave Grohl did a song together. Corey Taylor from Slipknot, and Dave Grohl from Nirvana and Foo Fighters. Who
has he not done music with?
Who? Grohl?
Grohl, yeah.
Can't think of anybody, but this is Corey Taylor. They had Stone Sour. It's totally different from what he does with Slipknot. So he's got range.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess when you can, sing like that, you can pretty much do anything, right?
Have I ever shown you the video of Mudvayne coming out and jumping into Dig, and they've got all the award attendees in the background?
Talk about a band that did a total turnaround. The first time I saw Mudvayne, they did Dig, and then their second album's they're not like
real emo stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I put out a tweet last night. I was watching the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Awards, and Busta Rhymes and A Tribe Called Quest were honored, and hearing a guy rap, and I don't listen to rap, but the kids that I call their games, the young basketball players, they've got their tracks going when they're warming up, and it's just so awful.
Dan, are you a big fan of Dream Theater?
I bet he is. Comments. I would think so. But anyways, amazing to hear a guy who actually rhymes and a guy who sounds like he's a man. And not
Busta Rhymes, not whiny, mumble rap.
Yeah, whiny little dude. Anyways, that's my old school rap comment. But all right, so we need to get out of here. Jeremy, it's a lot of fun, man. Happy New Year to you, and
Happy New Year to you.
We'll be saying extra prayers for you at your job. I know, it's just crazy world nowadays, and beyond football postponements and cancellations, we have lives that are lost. We have people that are affected in big ways, and it seems like our world going back 25 years has just not been the same in many ways, and you get kind of lulled into thinking that things are kind of returning to normal, and you get
an extremely false sense of security, especially here.
Yeah. And, that was when we worked at the airport together, that was one of the things that kept me stressed out. It was a retirement gig. It was low stress as far as calls and call demand, but you're sitting on a soft target. And if you really think about what can happen in situations, you really don't sleep much at night. So, not anything I would want to revisit, but I always think of you and being out there. So prayers for your safety and always in doing your duties and job. And plus, you get paid for another 3 or 4 months. That's nice.
Yeah, that is nice. Thank you, U.S. government, for passing a freaking budget.
Till Matt Gaetz comes in and says you don't make money anymore.
Yeah, right.
Pull that go out.
Get the bread line.
Well, listen, Happy New Year's to you and your family, and thanks for coming on, and it's always a lot of fun. And, man, I can't imagine we should be doing less. So, obviously, the alternative to that would be more. So, we'll see what we can get going.
You betcha.
Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you, and it's always a lot of fun to be on here talking sports with my buddy. and also all the folks who comment on our Facebook live stream tonight. This video will be available on our YouTube page, as well as links to it on Facebook, Twitter, X, and Instagram. Podcast episodes on SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon, Apple. Just find Law Dog Sports anywhere you go to listen to anything. Please, please, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at Law Dog Sports. Links to all of them can be found on our website, lawdogsports.com. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive. We'll talk to you next week.